you've revolutionized web browsing. You've revolutionized a lot of things over the years. Android changed the game. It's an incredible operating system. We could talk for hours about Android. What does the future of Android look like? Is it possible it becomes more and more AI centric, especially now that you throw into the mix Android XR with being able to do augmented reality and mixed reality and virtual reality in the physical world?
The best innovations in computing have come when you're through a paradigm IO change, right? Like, when with GUI, and then with a graphical user interface, and then with multi-touch in the context of mobile, voice later on. Similarly, I feel like, AR is that next paradigm. I think it was held back. Both the system integration challenges of making good AR is very, very hard. The second thing is you need AI to actually otherwise the IO is too complicated. For you to have a natural, seamless IO to that paradigm, AI ends up being super important. And so this is why Project Astra ends up being super critical for that Android XR world. But it is, I think, when you use glasses, and always been amazed, like at the how useful these things are going to be. So I think it's a real opportunity for Android. I think XR is one way it'll kind of really come to life. But I think there's an opportunity to rethink the mobile OS too, right? I think we've been kind of living in this paradigm of like apps and shortcuts. All that won't go away. But again, like if you're trying to get stuff done at an operating system level, it needs to be more agentic so that you can kind of describe what you want to do, or like it proactively understands what you're trying to do, learns from how you're doing things over and over again, and kind of is adapting to you. All that is kind of like the unlock we need to go and do.
With a basic, efficient, minimalist UI. I've gotten a chance to try the glasses and they're incredible. It's the little stuff. It's hard to put into words, but no latency. It just works. Even that little map demo where you look down and you look up and there's a very smooth transition between the two, and very small amount of useful information is shown to you. Enough not to distract from the world outside, but enough to provide a bit of context when you need it. And some of that, in order to bring that into reality, you have to solve a lot of the OS problems to make sure it works when you're integrating the AI into the whole thing. So everything you do launches an agent that answers some basic question
It's a
for
good
you.
moonshot. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy.
No, but I think we are, but it's much closer to reality than other moonshots. We expect to have glasses in the hands of developers later this year, and in consumer science next year. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, well, extremely well executed. Beam, all the stuff, because sometimes you don't know. Like somebody commented on a top comment on one of the demos of Beam. They said this will either be killed off in 5 weeks or revolutionize all meetings in 5 years. And there's very much Google tries so many things and sometimes sadly kills off very promising projects, but because there's so many other things to focus on. I use so many Google products. Google Voice I still use. I'm so glad that's not being killed off. That's still alive. Thank you, whoever is defending that, because it's awesome. And it's great. They keep innovating. I just want to list off just as a big thank you. So search, obviously Google revolutionized. Chrome, and all of these could be multi-hour conversations. Gmail, I've been singing Gmail praises forever. Maps, incredible technological innovation on revolutionizing mapping. Android, like we talked about. YouTube, like we talked about. AdSense. Google Translate for the academic mind. Google Scholar is incredible with the book, and also the scanning of the books. So making all the world's knowledge accessible, even when that knowledge is a kind of niche thing, which Google Scholar is. And then obviously with DeepMind, with AlphaZero, AlphaFold, AlphaEvolve. I could talk forever about AlphaEvolve. That's mind blowing. All of that released, and as part of that set of things you've released in this year, when those brilliant articles were written about Google is done. And like we talked about, pioneering self-driving cars and quantum computing, which could be another thing that is low key, is scuba diving. Its way to changing the world forever.